So I'm going to skip to some slides. Of course, I can only speak because of my teachers and my PhD advisor from India after my parents and all my family and friends around the world. So I'm going to skip that part for now. So this is what I talk about, right? These are the four forces we are talking about. So leadership has to be associated with these deep disruptive forces. The energy transition, I think Shailesh ji was talking about it, and since I am in energy industry, this is going to be really complex. It is not an easy thing. We can talk about in general terms our carbon neutral and zero carbon and things, but if you look at a nice picture of an energy transition, that's how it will look like. The complexity and the domino effect affects every industry. This requires the maturity in digital transformation, and which is really the foundation actually lies in what I call big data revolution. And it is all about creating exponential value, and that can only be done that when the industries, the companies, the people by themselves can disrupt themselves. That requires everybody to be really agile. All right, and as people we have to be, because we if I stayed with what I did 20 years ago, I could not be where I am today. And this is I'm not giving an example in my sense, but if you look at the people who are into this geek economy, that they're building these startups in the Silicon Valley or in Bangalore and other places, they really disrupt themselves a lot. And then this requires a new kind of thinking, and this thing because this thinking is what actually makes our this whole avatar talent concept really work very well, because this comes for me, that has always come for last 55 years of my life. I have believed is only these 20 words from Hanuman Chalisa, because that is what actually tells you that you can transform yourself, keep removing the blockers that exist. And that is what gives this whole avatar talent concept. And this is in practice, and this is what I have mentored a lot of people around it. And what I see today, especially today, as I expand my center in Bangalore uh, for a new generation of workforce in the energy industry, I am not looking at the degree that they are coming with. I am looking at it, can they adapt? Today they are working on, say, seismic domain. Tomorrow, can they work on carbon capture problems? Day after tomorrow, can they build augmented reality solutions? Right? These technologies have to be tapped for any industry across the board. All right, the communication technology, 5G. So, for example, if we're talking about energy sector and we're talking about net zero, if you look at the history of it, the energy industry has talked about digital oil fields 35 years ago. There is no digital oil field that exists today, because nobody actually integrated things. But today, with communication technologies that are evolving in 5G, 6G, but where is the talent? The universities are not teaching them. That means the person has to be really has to learn and adopt them. And hence this mindset is what is very, very important to tap all these exponential technologies that exist. We can talk about them in like details as we go along. And the whole approach is I'm going to skip that for now, but it's a simple approach how we can do that. Leverage the talent and change in this post deep disruption era, basically. But this is all about future sustainability. It's not about the current. Current is already as messy as it is, but can we actually plan for the future sustainability? And hence we have to like transform talent, technology, and inspire what is going to be the reality that we don't know. With that, I'm going to stop my comment here and then see if there are any questions as we move on.
Dr. Priyadarshi, that's fascinating to peek into the mind of the chief data scientist at Halliburton, and I'm interested in two comments particularly. If nobody else has a comment, I'll ask you that right now. One was that you described the current situation as messy. Expand a bit on that. What kind of mess we currently look at right now? And I'm also very interested in this in the way that you phrased avatar. Clearly, a lot of thought went into it, and it has all the hallmarks really of what you might need in a fast emerging world where emerging tech, as you said, is going to be the cornerstone. But just slightly expand on how messy are we talking, as also on the previous one.
Yeah, so look at the couple of complexity in very simple terms. If we just look at energy industry, right? The talent that exists, very sharp talent, right? If you look at geophysicists or engineers, but industry has only trained them on a particular domain for the last 3-4 decades. Now, suddenly there is this emergence and a need for adopting digital technology called computing technology. So when I say digital, I bring on all the computing technology that exists, whether it is cloud computing, whether it's HPC or high performance computing or anything. But on one side, the industry has been great in like talking about say solar energy, wind energy, and train them on those kind of concepts. But when it comes to digital technologies, the same industry has lacked in terms of training their talent. And as a result, they are expecting that the talent will evolve from where? From the university. The universities haven't actually really kept on that promise of like bringing the latest technology because training, because they don't have the resources, and the industry hasn't provided them with the right kind of guidance as to what to be done. Maybe 1%, maybe there are, but I'm saying the large portion of the workforce is not trained. So it eventually falls down to the workforce themselves to really be a leader, to learn these things and move on. Like look at the case of cybersecurity that's happening, the challenges, data breaches, right? Since the AOL data breach, when I used to work there a long time ago, since that data breach happened, we are still increasing number of data breaches that are taking place. And what have we done for that? What protection have we created? How much talent have we trained? All right. So leadership comes from all those things, not just looking at the short-term gains of an industry, but the long-term sustainability. And I think that is what Saleshji mentioned a little bit in terms of ESG. And this requires addressing the talent and the leadership in that sense. The other complexity comes in this use of the emerging technology, which is very confusing. People use this term AI, machine learning, whatnot, in a very, unfortunately, very complex manner, that as if AI is something in a box and you can actually deploy it. It's like saying that we are eating chemistry, we are wearing chemistry, we never use that word. So AI is just a subject, its application is what we are talking about. So, and
Right.
as a result, the old leadership or the old guard is very confused as to how to implement these things. Like I've spent last 5 years traveling around the world, meeting the top leadership in this sector. And the question is, what is AI to them? And this is the old guard, right? So, which is fair question, because people can go and tell, oh, we can implement AI to resolve that. So, so these are people complexity, technology complexity, the communication among people, the translating, I would call the translating complexity is very high right now. And with the pandemic, that I would say there are some good things that happened is in terms of even the old guard, which was not ready to take advantage of exponential technologies, have actually accelerated the adoption. But at the same time, it's just a long challenge to reach that sustainability point.